April 1st, 2024. We're here on the rooftop of the property located at 751 Dennis Avenue in Chula Vista, California, 91910. The line was cameraed last week and they found a blockage, so they couldn't get it all inspected. So we came up here on the rooftop through the original 3-inch vent over the downstairs single bathroom. We snaked the line out with this large 7/8" sectional cable and a double-sided cutter bit right there. What came back up with our cable initially here is this big piece of plastic and then this wipe or feminine hygiene product. It looks like heavy-duty wipe, but it could be a feminine product all tore up. So now we're going to go ahead and inspect the line and see if we can get past that point and if there's any other issues or debris in the system still. So from the rooftop here, we did camera it before we put our cables in just to get a distance, and you can see on the bottom left of our screen it says 42.5 feet. From the roof vent, it was right about 42 feet from this roof vent access till we got to the blockage. And I know that they had done a marking out front, but that was the distance for this point of access. So this is all the original cast iron main. Looks nice and round and good. They looked at this already. We had a bunch of water running after we cleared it. So we'll see if we need to run some more water. Coming up here now on the spot where we had the blockage. So that's right here, and you can see it looks like there's some roots intruding right there. So we definitely have a root intrusion right here on the line, and you can see the line looks like it's choked down just a little bit right there. This could be a hub. Sometimes the builders right past the foundation wall put in a clean out T, a two-way access. Never brought it to surface, it was just for testing purposes, but I don't see on the top of the pipe if that is an opening. We have a small pan and tilt camera we may throw in there, but we do see that there are some small roots right there. So besides this foreign debris that should have never gone down, it looks like that got hung up at this spot right here that has a small choke down, and because of the roots that are intruding. So we'll relocate that to make sure that the marking and the flag for the stoppage area is this exact same spot where they put their flag. I'm sure it's a ballpark, but we'll make sure the depth and area is the same. So we'll go ahead and go past that cast iron, and then you can see right here we have a little bit of a downturn, a little bug right there in the line. So it looks like we're going down at a slight angle, about a 1/16 bend maybe, and then coming back more true horizontal. So it might be making a slight right turn there across the yard to go in between the two trees, not right underneath the one large one that was there. We'll reconfirm that. We'll continue down the line right here. Looks like we've got a little ball of debris right here in the line. This might have been some more of that debris that was blocking the line upstream that we snaked out. But we only ran 47 feet of cable, 3 15-footers and a 2-foot leader. So all this heavy material that again should never have gone down is still bunched up. So we're going to pause the video, run tons of water, and push this debris out to get it out to the city, and then check the rest of the system from this 49 feet out. Okay, here's the water that's running, and we'll go ahead and use our camera with the water running, keep pushing this out. We may have gone past the debris, we didn't really see. We're going to continue. This water will just help the camera get out a long distance as well, so we're moving really quickly here. Okay, we may be at the property line clean out T right here, turn in the line. And we also may be just where it's another blockage in the pipe, or that debris is blocking the line. Both things are possible. We'll back up the pipe here. So the water's draining out. Let's see if it starts to fill up in the system now. Yeah, it looks like it's filling up in the system. So that ball of debris or another one has clogged up the line just downstream. It was so big. So could be, again, a turn on the system. So we're going to have to cable this. The camera's not going to get past this 80-foot mark of whatever we have to get through here. So we're we're gonna go ahead and pause the video while we go ahead and get this now cabled out. Okay, so we just ran 92 feet of our cable out. You can see the 6 lengths of our 15-foot 7/8 inch sectional cable, our 2-foot leader with our cutting bit. So we're gonna go back down the line. We had water running a couple times and we could hear it all draining out. So we should be clear. Now go back through into the system. We're gonna push through this part really quick here. Okay, there's our original stoppage and root intrusion at just past right around that 40-foot mark, which we'll relocate. And now let's continue. Here's that little turn on the line, which you can actually see there. We do have actually a T-junction right there. So that's where they put a clean out on the line, it looks like, at that turn. Looks like they put a T-junction right there. Now must be sweeping it back up then at a weird angle, because this is a self-leveling camera and we're going down and making a slight right turn. So let's go ahead and continue down the line here, and then we will turn the water back on again to show that everything is draining out. So again, all original cast iron. We did not see any roots the first time to a certain spot, so we'll see if we find any more. Now we have a suspicion that our cable had a hard time making it through past the 80-foot mark, just like the camera, because I believe that's the property line clean out. So I think there's another T-junction making a full 90-degree turn on the line, and we'll see if that's the case or not coming up shortly. If not, maybe it was roots or hard debris. So here's the spot where we stopped at, and yeah, this is the property line clean out. So this is why the camera couldn't get by farther out to clear the stoppage, because it was past this turn in the line. So this is the original property line clean out. We'll go ahead and mark this near the sidewalk area to note where this is at and how deep the pipe is. Again, we do have a pan and tilt camera with us, so we'll try to push that all the way out with some running water and see if we can look up that T-junction to see if they extended it to any depth higher up other than just capping it right at the top of the T, which is what they normally did. But if they didn't, then that'll cut down on the digging to expose this clean out. So yeah, this is a sanitary T. This isn't a Y or a combo fitting. So the camera at 80 feet, already going through multiple turns, is not going to make this turn right here. With running water, we might be able to make the first drop possibly, but we're not going to be able to push out. We can't even turn through it right now. So we're going to go ahead and pause the video right here. We're going to put our second camera in the line, which is the pan and tilt one, to try to look at the roots and then the other clean out we saw just past the foundation, and then this property line one, which is what we'll start with first. Okay, so you can see here we're at that property line clean out still. We have a second pan and tilt camera that's now just in front of this camera, and you can see we have all the water running in the house right now to show proof that the line is free and clear, and everything is draining good. So again, we're right at about 78, 79 feet to this property line clean out, and we went 93 feet out just to be safe and cleared the line. So we got our cables approximately 14 feet or so past this T-junction you're looking at right here. But we can't view that with the camera, again, because this is a hard 90-degree turn, not a long sweep at this sanitary T, and then it's going to go vertical down for a few feet, and then there's going to be another 90 at the bottom of that where it self-corrects from the vertical to the horizontal to run out to the street. So everything is draining out perfectly good. As you can see, nothing's backed up anymore. We have the pan and tilt camera in there right now. So again, that's the silver spring you see just to the next to this other camera right here. There you can see the end of it. We actually have that camera pointing up on the other video screen but it's not the same brand. It's a special camera, so it doesn't interlink to the video that we're recording. But we can see from the video, the good news is that this property line pipe extends up. So the T doesn't just end, it actually does go up quite a bit. We can see with the other camera as we look into up the line basically. So that's good news, because that means that if you ever do want to one day expose this, you're not going to have to dig all the way down to the pipe depth. But we're going to go ahead and pause the video to go ahead and locate this pipe and this clean out T and mark it, and then we'll go ahead and pull back and look at the rest of the system at where the root intrusion is. Okay, so we've got the line located at the property line clean out just to the right of the driveway, right in front of the sidewalk. We're going to denote the depth. I think it's a little over 4.5 feet to the top of the pipe, but we're going to pull back the camera because we have both cameras in and both SONs were on. So we're going to pull back the pan and tilt that you see right here that's ahead of the camera that we're using. So again, the LEDs, can only shine so much up a steel vertical pipe, but we can see with this second camera that's able to look all directions that it is actually going up quite a bit. So you would not have to dig to that super deep depth. It may still be 2 feet, but it could be even way less than that. You just never know. So I can't give a depth to how far they extended it up. I just know that they didn't leave it near the bottom. Luckily, we're able to verify that. So we're going to pull this special pan and tilt back out of the way right here, so it doesn't interfere with our specific locating with our sonde. Be more precise with just this one. So we're going to leave it right on the edge right here. We're going to go ahead and pause again and just double check this for the depth. Okay, we have gone ahead and painted a large circle right where this vertical clean out pipe is located in the front lawn. It's about 5 feet to the right of the driveway and just a few inches off the edge of the sidewalk under the grass. And then we painted a line off of that headed back towards the house at the harsh angle it's headed, because basically when you're standing in front of the house and looking at the property, the line comes out of the right hand side, which is because the bathroom's on the far right, but it then carries across the whole front yard from right to left basically. So we've got that marked out. The pipe depth itself to the bottom of the pipe is right about 4.5 feet deep, so a few inches left to the top of the pipe for the 3-inch pipe. And then again, that vertical T is extended up with its clean out pipe, multiple possibly feet, but at least 1.5 feet. So I would think the most you'd have to dig to get to the cap would be around 2 feet approximately, but it could be even less than that, but not much more than that, because we can see with that special pan and tilt. So we'll now go ahead and pull back on the line here. So we're going to pull back. We'll have to pull both cameras back, but we want to look back at that other T junction that we put, which again looked like it was probably another clean out T that was added, and then we'll look more intensely at the roots that are intruding. There's the other camera. We're going to pull all the way back here. So the rest of this cast iron has normal, a little bit of scale, a little bit of buildup, and some deposits, but completely functional, normal for its age, and not going to be a problem. But the root intrusion we have up front here is definitely going to be something that's going to have to be dug up and repaired or maintained. Now, it's probably getting in from a hub, so we know that there's a hub right here for this T junction, and then as we back up through the turn, there's a little fitting, and that's probably another hub where it's coming in from right there. So we're going to go ahead and leave our camera right here at the roots. We're going to go ahead and pause and locate and mark this out. Okay, so we've located this root intrusion in the line here, and that is literally directly under the retaining wall, and then it holds in the landscaping bed at the very front of the house. So the grass ends, this wall comes up a little over 2 feet, and then you've got the landscaping here, and excuse me, the pipe, because of the landscaping bed above the retaining wall height now, the top of the sewer pipe to that area is 56 inches deep. So right past the wall, then you're going to lose a couple feet. So we'll go ahead and put our camera about a foot past here, and you can see here's where we have that little bit of more of a downward turn right there, and then that's part of that T-junction that's there. So we'll back up right here, right before the downward turn, leave our camera right here. We're going to go ahead and mark this pipe on the front lawn in case somebody decides they do want to dig it up. We do have a flag in the ground in that landscaping bed on the other side of the retaining wall next to the edge of the house with that 56-inch denotation and the roots. So that's the spot that that's at. So we're going to go ahead and pause again just to go ahead and mark the pipe just past here, and then we'll pull the pan and tilt camera back and kind of look around those roots to see if we see anything else in particular off of that, as well as the other T up ahead right here. Okay, we are literally just in front of the retaining wall by a couple inches, and the sewer pipe we're reading is only about 2 feet deep right here. Obviously it's going to get a little bit deeper with this downward turn and the angle that it has to run across the yard. So we're just going to push through here. You can see right after that, just a few inches away, is where they have this T-junction that they put in. So we're going to make our way through that turn of the T-junction, just a few inches past right here. And then we'll go ahead and relocate and mark this with some green paint on the ground. Okay, so the sewer pipe right here, a few feet or inches just past that T-junction. The bottom of the pipe is about 2 feet 5 inches, so right around 29 inches to the bottom of the pipe. So we've got that painted out on the ground for the path of the pipe in case somebody does want to dig it up. But again, when you do the digging, you're going to run into this T-junction right here. So what we're going to do again is pull back the other camera we have in the line so we can go ahead and take a look at that T-junction if we can see a better view of it, as well as look at the roots that are intruding in the line, just to get another glance at that. So we're going to pause the video for 1 second while we pull the other camera back into place. Okay, so we can see that the choke down is simply just because there's a fair amount of roots just in the system. That's all that is right there, and it clogged up all that other debris. We have the pan and tilt camera just slightly forward here at that T-junction, and it is in fact a clean out. So we're not going to push this camera back up to there, but anyway, with the other one looking at the angles, we can see that that's exactly what they did with that Y or that T-junction. They just used it to place a clean out. So it's there in between the spot where the line makes the turn. Again, it's not going to be very useful for anything because unfortunately it doesn't let you go in both directions. It only lets you clean out the line across the front yard. So there's no real reason to ever expose it unless you're just going to dig it up to repair the pipe for some reason. It's not going to help anything. It's not going to help clean or maintain the roots, and it's not going to help you get past the property line clean out. Maybe with a camera it could from there possibly, but still not worth it. So at this point, everything is basically working. However, the roots right here are either going to have to be maintained over time, so you can use a cable, a chain knocker, or a hydrojetter to always clean out the roots. But the main thing you'd want to do if you don't want to dig this up and do a repair of any type excuse me, would be to go ahead and do a Robic foaming root killer every 6 months. So there's an inexpensive chemical you can buy at Home Depot, Lowe's, or online at Walmart or Amazon called Robic, R-O-E-B-I-C foaming root killer. A 1 pound bottle is right around $20. You'll need 2 bottles, and you would pour them combined, mixed together into the toilet bowl and flush them down and let it sit in the line for about 6 hours. You do that every 6 months. It'll kill the roots that are in there, as well as several feet back away from the pipe underground, and keep them from growing into the system. It won't disintegrate what's in the line if it continues to grow over time, if it's not maintained, but it will keep them from growing in. Otherwise, the line will just have to be snaked and cleaned out on occasion. And so the roof vent right now is a 3-inch access. It is fine to clean and rip out the roots that are here with any of the systems, but obviously some plumbers won't go on the roof, and if it's raining or wet, you can't do it. Too dangerous, so, and the equipment can't get wet, so then you would want a ground clean out. And so one could possibly be put under the house depending on how the toilet downstairs here at the first level is accessible from the crawl space, if a T can be added, or there may be a cap on the end of the beginning of the line and extend it and run it out through one of the vents off the crawl space to do that. Otherwise, you can do something in the front yard, but with all those thick, heavy roots out front, not going to be very easy digging. So everything is cleared on the system. We've got everything painted and marked for the property line clean out and the roots out front. We're going to go ahead and pause, and we'll move our camera down to the ground level to show all those markings on the ground. Okay, so we're here at ground level. So here's the landscaping bed on the other side of this retaining wall. So the green flag right here denotes roots 56 inches to the top of the pipe. That's literally just past the retaining wall. The roots are literally just on the edge of the retaining wall underneath here. And then here's the path of the pipe across the front lawn. It's right about 2 feet just in front of the retaining wall only, right around there. And we picked up 2 feet 5 inches deep after the turn. So it comes out straight. There's that T-junction as part of this turn. So over here somewhere, essentially in this area, ballpark, is going to be that other clean out T. But again, it won't help for the roots that are farther back or probably getting past the property line. But there's the path of the pipe all marked off. So now we'll go ahead and move over to the property line clean off at the front by the sidewalk. Okay, so here at the front of the house, getting closer to the driveway again, here's this large painted circle right there you can see right here. And then we have a green line painted across here, the front yard. So it's, again, coming from the right side of the house, comes all the way across the lawn. There's that green painted line, that's the path of the pipe. And this big, large circle right here, again, 5 feet off the driveway and just a few inches off the sidewalk. That's where the property line clean out. So this horizontal pipe makes a complete vertical downturn with the sanitary T hard 90 fitting. And so from there, then it goes straight down, then there's a 90, and then it runs under the sidewalk, and then out to the street. There's a manhole a few houses down, and the manhole is not in the middle of the street. It's a little bit past the middle from this side of the street. So that's where this lateral line is going to end. So that's the layout of the property, and that concludes this recording.